you're running ads to attract leads. And then if they come in and you basically tell them that they can build their business without running ads, they're like, that's not even how I got here. Wouldn't it make more sense to come through a process and then teach them how to have that exact same process? All right, everybody. Awesome. Let's go to the next question. And the next question is from Abby. What's up, Abby? Howard, how you doing? Hi, Balazs. Thanks for the always amazing calls and takeaways. Analysis paralysis has been a thing lately as there are so many awesome trainings and calls in the business community I am in, but it's almost an overload of good information. When it comes time to take action, I find myself doing what is comfortable and most likely isn't working, and then have a hard time finding a starting point with all the new strategies and training because there's so much overlap and contradiction with some strategies. I feel like my energy is getting pulled to try many different things, so I am not mastering any one, and therefore only small bits of energy and effort are being put into the many strategies equals no results because of no mastery. I hope that makes sense. LOL. My question is to almost take it back to the basics. What do you suggest to focus on as a solid starting point to master? For context, I have done ads, live events, cold outreach, webinars. I'm definitely not afraid to do the work. I just need the work to work effectively. Yeah, well, I think you kind of answered your own question there, right? I think you're aware of your own dilemma. You are in a contradictory sort of scenario because there are a lot of people in the community. There are a lot of leaders, a lot of different ways that people are choosing to build, and they're all trying to give back by providing knowledge, by providing what's working for them. The problem with this is that context is often missing. And I try my best to provide context based on an individual level, which is why I have these questions like I'm speaking directly to you and your situation, as opposed to hosting like only broad calls where it may not feel like it's particularly for one person, right? It's like it's harder to do coaching or provide feedback in that way. So with that being said, when people share these strategies, they're often not sharing who they are, their childhood experiences, how they were raised, what their belief systems are, what their greatest fears are, what their greatest inspiration and dream is. So there's all these things around like who they are deep down, their qualities, their character traits, their personality, their strengths, their weaknesses, things that really light them up about this business or the specific skill sets within the business. And that all needs to be a match, right? And once you find that match where like, this is the way that I want to build this thing, this is the way that I enjoy, this is what lights me up, this is the thing that I can't wait to wake up in the morning and like go do this specifically, you will have a tough time really taking off in this business. So let me ask you now, I don't know if you're available to unmute yourself or have a chat, but out of all the things that you've done so far, which do you enjoy the most? Which feels the most like this is Abby? Like this is Abby's way to build this business.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. I have really enjoyed the ad aspect of it. I've gotten like the most flow of leads from that, most conversations.
So what if all you did was mastered ads?
I can
What
do
if
that.
you what if you simply just pretended or acted like ads was the only way that existed for you? There is no other way. And it's basically master ads or never win. Never make it to the top. Never hit dash 3. Never live your dreams. It's one or the other. What if you had that sort of all-in sink or swim mentality with the part that you enjoy the most, as you said, which is ads?
That makes sense.
Because here's the thing. Then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to take such a strong position in your content and in your ads, actually like what you're saying in your ads when you're launching them and testing them, that you're looking for other people who feel the same way about the potential of paid ads, the potential of what that means. What is the true value of paid ads? What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? Like, what kind of person do you have to be to love the concept and idea of ads being the main way to generate leads in your business? Because then what you can say in your ads is you can say, look, if you want to do it like this, you want to do it like that, you want to do it like this is not for you, because in order to work with me, Specifically, we in my team master ads. We build this business exclusively with ads. So if you want to work with someone who masters ads, and that's what I can help you with and teach you with and like give you feedback on your ad creatives and your data and your numbers and all the stuff that comes with successfully running ads, you should work with me. Now, if you want to go do pop-up water sharing, farmers market, water samples, fantastic, but don't work with me. We don't do that here. But what you're most likely doing is saying something like, hey, you can share water and you can give it away here and you can, do ads and you can do content, and you can dance on TikTok and you can do it any way you want, which is all true. But now you're going to get a random mix of leads who are like telling you, I want to share water. And then the next person says, I want to do TikTok dances. And you're sitting there going, oh my God, annoying, because I don't want to do it that way. And I don't want to talk about that. And I don't want to teach that. And I don't want to support that. But I do want sales. So here you go. Here's my checkout link and buy my quad. And then you end up having a team of randoms that you're not enjoying. Does this make sense?
It does. Thank you.
So just like how we want to be clear on our avatar of who we want to attract into our business, age, country, demographic, language, job, previous experience, et cetera, like psychographics around our ideal business partner, we also want to get clarity on how do we want these people to follow instructions to build the business without confusing them with that there's all these different ways. So now just imagine a team, Abby, of 10, 20, 50, 100 people who are obsessed with ads and love them like you, and that's who your downline is. Wouldn't that be sweet?
It would.
Because here's what's going to happen. You're running ads to attract leads. And then if they come in and you basically tell them that they can build their business without running ads, they're like, that's not even how I got here. Wouldn't it make more sense to come through a process and then teach them how to have that exact same process? You understand what I'm saying?
It does. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So that's what often is happening, is that if you meet somebody organically, very natural, like on an airplane, you sit beside them at a coffee shop and you have a conversation, only then do you have an option to say, look, you can obviously network traditionally like I just did with you. I literally said hello to you. I asked you what your name was and where you were traveling and asked you what you did for a career. And here we are now talking about my business and you're interested and I'm going to give you my contact information to check it out. But we also primarily run ads to generate these leads. Only then can you give two options when you're like in real time generating leads in that fashion that you're doing it. Make sense? But if you're running ads, it doesn't make sense for you to talk about building your business with anything else but ads, because now it's going to be like disappointing. It's going to be like, oh, but I really love this whole process. I saw a video, I clicked the link, I watched it. I never even talked to you. I made a decision whether this was for me or not. And then I talk to you. I want you to teach me how to do that for me. You see how this makes a lot of sense? Is like the process itself is the sale, not the product. It's the process. So if you did that, you would potentially have a period in your business where it feels like you're making a mistake. You're like, I can't believe I committed to only ads. You might hate me for a while because mastery is painful in the beginning. It's not going to feel fun. But as soon as you break through that and you're like, I really understand what I'm doing. Like, this is really fun. I'm getting leads. I'm having awesome conversations. The fact that I'm clear on that this is the way that I want to work with people and this is the way I want to build this business is going to light you up. And then once it really clicks, you're going to scale and you'll never look back. And you will create a duplication of ads brought in leads who bought because of ads, who learned how to run ads, who generated leads, who brought in more people through ads and who brought, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you have 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of everybody's running ads and your business becomes like GPM, which is a lot of people in GPM run ads. And the thing that I always talk about is that when you have a downline organization, like the way Enagic has their comp plan, your ad spend is my ad spend, but it's not coming out of my bank account. It's coming out of your bank account. Think about that for a second. Think about having thousands of people all spending $100, $300, $500,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month on ads, not coming out of my bank account, but it's my ad spend. Make sense?
It does. And like one of the things that we've been talking about too with like a launch, I guess, bonus is even like one of the incentives being ad spend to get people started so they can hurry up and turn around and then get their ads going. With our bonus being, yeah.
And you can even, and when you buy gift cards like Facebook Meta ad credits, that's a tax deduction for you.
Nice.
So if you, the same way, if you spent $100 on ads or you purchased $100 in ads credits and gave it to someone else, it's still $100 write-off for you the same exact way. Because with marketing, it's a 1-to-1 write-off. dollar for dollar. It's not a percentage of, it's all of it. So what's really crazy is like it's kind of the same way like when you invest in real estate, you get to actually pay less taxes when you buy more real estate and you keep leveraging more debt to own more property. It's kind of like that with our business where like as your income goes up, if you spend more money on ads to further make your income go up higher, then you get more tax deductions and pay less taxes. So it's like you either give it to the IRS or the CRA, wherever you live in the world, whatever government agency you pay taxes to, you either give it to them or you spend it on ads and make more money. It's like, kind of a silly option not to. So basically, I think that's the answer to your question is use ads to fuel your brand, to get more eyeballs on who you are. That's the big thing. And then secondarily, you always need to have content and your journey and your story be the real substance behind the ads. So, for example, if you started spending more money on ads, and I'm not talking about like something you can't afford necessarily, I'm talking about picking a number that you can reliably spend every month, no matter what. 300, 500 bucks a month, 1,000 bucks a month, whatever it is, based on your current fixed income, your full-time job, or your, whatever you're comfortable with, like, that money's coming in. Pick a number, okay? I suggest $300 minimum, if not more. 500, 600 is even better. The more the better. But let's just say like 300 minimum, 500 minimum, okay? Then you're going to pick a percentage of your commission that you generate from a direct sale that you will reinvest back into your ads. Okay. So depending on your financial situation, 10%, 20%, 50%, I would even say 50% would be smart because you'll scale faster. Okay. So now whatever your commission is from a quad sale, trifecta sale, whatever, just pretend it's half of that. You make $8,000 on a quad. No, you don't. You make 4,000. And the other 4,000 goes back into your ads. So now it's not coming out of pocket. It's reinvesting to grow your business. But when you get that money, let's just use 50% as the example. You divide that 50%, that 4,000 by 6 months. You're going to get a number. That's the number you're going to add to your monthly ad spend for the next 6 months. So it went from 500 and then went up to 750. I think the math is off, but you get the point. Now for the next 6 months, no matter what, even if you don't make any more direct sales, you do not change that number back down. It stays at 750 for those 6 months. This is making sense. During that 6 months, you'll make another sale. I know you will, or multiple sales, and you take 50% from those commissions again, divide it by 6 months, and add it back to your budget from the time of the sale forwards 6 months. You don't go backwards. You know what I'm saying? So every time a sale happens, it's going to be coming like in whatever frequency you make a sale, and it always bumps up your ad spend for the next 6 months. And what you'll find when you do this is you'll have more money to test ideas. You'll have more money to retarget people after their initial ad. They find out who you are, that you exist, and then you retarget them with like your story and testimonials and lifestyle and some of your achievements, and like really get them to know you over time through the retargeting ads. And what will happen is you'll look back in 12 to 18 months and be like, I'm spending 10 grand a month on ads. And you started with $300 or $500 out of your pocket from your job, and the rest of it all came from your reinvestment from your commissions. Now, if you're spending 10 grand a month on ads, you're very easily making 100 grand a month. But to start at 10 grand a month in ads is foolish because you don't have the 10 grand a month and you need to work your way up to that. So now when you actually think about what's the risk here, there's no risk. Because $300 a month is like a cable bill, phone bill, hydro bill. It's just like a regular bill that we all have in our lives. We're just prioritizing this versus like Starbucks or DoorDash or takeout or whatever other guilty pleasure you might have that you spend money on. You're like, no, I'm going to do ads instead of that. And it's a fixed expense. I cannot stop my ads. I cannot turn them off. And then the percentage that you reinvest just allows you to scale your income quicker. So it doesn't have to be 50%. But if you have stable full-time income in your household that you don't need the money, like you're not desperately in debt or like on the verge of eviction or something really serious on like that, but you're good, you're comfortable, then I would pick a higher number, 30 to 50% to reinvest. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So then when you look back, you're like, whoa, I'm spending 10 grand a month on ads. But all of that came from commissions reinvested. It did not come out of your pocket. So technically there was no risk to that. And the reason why you want to spread it out over 6 months is to give yourself that space to learn, adapt, try different ad strategies, and give your leads an opportunity to go through financing, to get started. This is making sense what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like gambling where you're like, I made a $4,000 commission. I'm going to put it all on, my ads this month, all or nothing, baby. And then you burn through the 4 grand, right? And you're like, oh shit, I'm back to 350 next month. You don't want that. You want it to be the slow and steady adding. And you will absolutely crush the strategy. It is the most powerful, most predictable way to build a business, but people go about it the wrong way because they keep spending a little bit on ads and then getting scared because it never worked and then turning off their ads. Be like, I can't afford to run ads. And then they make a little bit of money, save up, and like, I'm gonna try ads again. And then they lose that money again, like, oh, ads are a scam, or this is a casino, and then they turn the ads off. The secret is to never turn them off and to keep them running while you continue to learn about them, study it, and master the topic and continue to get better. And then back to your content is the last thing I'm going to say about this is now hypothetically, how would you want people to get to know you, the real Abby, authentic Abby, picking 5 or 7 different topics for your personal brand that you're interested in? And what if 100,000 people a month or a day or month were watching your stories? Getting to know you, finding out, who this person is behind these ads. Why are you even doing this business? What are you trying to get out of this business? Why do you like this business instead of something different? What made you want to do it? What's your why? What's your mission? What's your purpose? What do you enjoy doing with the time freedom that you've created for yourself? Imagine you had 100,000 people watching your stories. And out of those 100,000, 1% of them were buying quads from you. Would be pretty cool, right? So now you want to start thinking like this now, because what's going to happen that is often overlooked is when you are making $100,000 a month or more, being able to scroll back on your feed, right? On your Instagram or whatever, be like, where was I 3 years ago? And it's all there documented. And you had 6 likes. Nobody gave a shit. You're talking to yourself on the internet. And then all of a sudden people do give a shit. You have made it. You are a massive success. You are speaking on stage. You are making 100 grand a month. And now people are curious. Wait a second. Let me see what's going on here, Abby. Oh, just like my favorite, I tell you guys all the time, but my favorite Facebook memories that pop up or me talking a big game back in the day, nobody cares, nobody likes it, nobody comments, just talking to myself. And then I'd check and see if I had any likes the next day and I had no likes. I was like, yeah, watch this, bitch. And I got all mad about it. And then now I get the memory 12 years later. I'm like, oh, baby, this feels so good to repost it right now. Have a look at this, guys. And I always make sure to include the comments and the likes at the bottom, right? Just to show that I started where everybody else starts, which is nobody cared. Isn't that how it feels sometimes for all of us? It's like, does anyone care? Is it really so hard to tap the screen 2 times and leave me a heart, bitch? Like you get all like fired up, like, is it really that hard? I know you like this. Come on. It's just how it is, right? It's a social media world that we live in, and it's been ingrained in like our lives. But hopefully this is making sense. So you want to do the ads, master it. Don't worry about the other stuff. If you are gonna try different strategies, make sure that it's still through the where your ads are leading to. That's fine. You can test an ad leading to the DM. You can test an ad going to a ebook. You can test an ad. You can test those things. That's healthy. That's good. But you don't want to divert from this one strategy and just mastering the ads, because that's what you enjoy the most.
Super helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, and just enjoy, have
Me
fun
too.
with the process.